Hi and welcome to Magic Scanner website, a fundamental stock selector for KLSE and SGX financial market. You're about to learn the secrets to raking in double to triple digit return per annum in trading or investing, no matter how much time you've had to prepare. It doesn't matter if you've never had any past experience or education, this Magic Scanner will tell you everything you need to know without spending too much brain power. This is unlike any tool you'll find out there. It's the edge that most analysts and fund managers want or have. Go ahead and get yours now.
All right, everybody. Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to another Friday chart clinic, dating 16th of August 2013. Last week was a relatively quiet week. We have only 2.5 days of trading. So that's pretty much set up the whole thing. And this week, a lot of people are still on a holiday leave, and a lot more update coming in this Friday closing bell at 4:15. So for our premium members, just take note of that. Just a couple of updates for those of you who's been with us on our Friday chart clinic. The website has been restored. As I said before, we did have a malware about a week or 2 weeks. That is because our website, being due to its popularity, has been attacked. And since then, the technical people has restored. If you have any difficulty accessing using the Google Chrome, please let me know for this purpose. Okay. And also at the same time, for those of you who is on our Magic Scanner free trial, you may experience some bounce email, especially those who is registered with yahoo.com.au, because I did get a few complaints that people is coming back and they subscribe to the Magic Scanner and they are not able to get the password. If you have that, please let us know for that purpose. Okay, without further ado, now I'll just pass you to Bill. He's going to give you an update, and it's pretty positive on the goal on that matter. All right, here you go, Bill.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and I welcome you to our program today. Okay, good morning, everybody, and I'd like to welcome you guys today. And I'd like to report something of great interest. Number one, the CME, that is the futures market for the commodities in the U.S., and that is where the gold market gold is traded on the futures market. They are having problems in making delivery, meaning there are more people that want to claim delivery from their long futures contracts than they have gold in their inventories. So this is a major concern, and that has caused a dramatic rise in gold in the last few days. And yesterday we had a major line change that took out the 1350 resistance, and it shot higher and closed near the high. Now, which is also of interesting point, an interesting thing is that normally, whenever you have a big run in the U.S. or London markets, the next morning in Asia, the markets are very thin. The manipulators will always break the market down to scare out as many people as they can. However, in the last few days, they've not been able to do it. This morning, after the big run in Chicago on the futures gold, this morning on the Asia market, gold was only down about $5.40 and only down at that level for a few minutes. And then a massive amount of strong hand buyers came in, physical buyers, and bought. So it stopped the manipulation. So that is one issue. Then when we move over to Shanghai, which recently started a gold market, a futures market there for gold, this market is a physical delivery market. 95% of the contracts that are bought are taken up by physical buyers. Unlike the US market, where 98% are in the paper market. So we're finding the premiums of Shanghai gold, physical gold, are as much as $50 an ounce. If you want the gold physical, you're going to pay $50 more than the Chicago price. So these are some of the issues. And the last point is that the gold forward offer rate has turned positive. Now this is very interesting because traditionally, if you have gold and you want US dollars, you can borrow them using the gold as collateral, and you have to pay interest rate, which is about whatever the money market rates are. And it's been like this for the last 20 years. However, in the last 5 weeks, the gold forward offer rate has turned negative. That means you will be paid to take US dollars if you post your gold for collateral. So this is an indication of tightness of supply. So this whole system is beginning to unravel. Expect higher prices. Don't get scared by all of the negative propaganda and press about gold. Gold is well supported on the physical side. Now that's one point. Now, how does that affect stock markets? Well, we've seen a lot of pressure in the U.S. We had some very negative earnings reports. One was on Walmart. Walmart, obviously, is the biggest retailer in the world, and they have shown softening in their revenues. Less people are coming in to buy, and what they are buying is absolute necessity items. They're not buying the very expensive electronics gear, new refrigerators, new air conditioners. They're buying food, bread, wheat, not wheat, but rice, and the basic necessities of life, cooking oil, hamburgers, and they're buying less of the sirloin and the expensive meats. They're buying the cheap meats. So their profits have been affected. So this concern, when this report came out, the Dow came down to over 200 points last night. And then there was talk that they're going to stop the quantitative easing. So on that, there was panic, and the new retailers who just jumped in the market sold everything. They sold everything, even the quality shares. So even Apple was sold last night. So based on that, we also have found in the last 3 months, we have seen a massive inflow of unit trust. In the US, they call it mutual funds, buying everything. So the retailers are finally coming back into the US market. And that, my friends, is not bullish. These are the late buyers, the weak hands. So in order to shake them out, to scare them out, they had a manipulation to simply punish these new buyers. So consequently, on the other hand, you see strong hand professionals are buying. Smart money is still buying because the quantitative easing is not going to end. The U.S. 10-year Treasury bond has jumped now over 2.8% last night. So that is the biggest rise in interest rates in over 50 years. Never has this happened, has the 10-year bond risen so much, and this rise has happened over the last 3 months. It's put pressure on the home builders. The home builder index has dropped 30%. People aren't buying homes. Don't believe CNN, don't believe CNBC and the talking heads. People have stopped buying because mortgage rates have gone up. Banks have increased their credit requirements, increased the amount of money you have to put up for a down payment. So the U.S. economy is in not such wonderful shape. But actually, bad news is good news. Because when you have all this bad news, it's good news because it simply means they're not going to stop the quantitative easing. My forecast is they're not going to stop it in September because the economy is still weak. And this will benefit all markets, including the Asian markets. Now we're seeing money coming back into Asian markets. So this means that our positions for Singapore, our high-quality Singapore shares, high-quality Malaysian shares, should continue to be well supported. So don't panic. Don't get caught up in the fear. Don't sell your gold. Please don't do that because gold is now in an uptrend. And having said that, I do wish all of you a great week next week ahead, and just keep doing what you're doing. Bye.
All right, that was Bill for his US and gold outlook. Okay, now let's continue with our Friday chart clinic before we get to the end of it. This is just a message here. I just want to look at it. Okay. There's a question here. Why is ringgit currency weaker than the US dollar? Bill, you have anything to say for that, Bill?
Okay, the Asian currencies have all been under pressure recently because some very large hedge funds in the US and in UK have been trying to break the Asian currencies down and create a panic as they did in 1998. And this has caused a lot of fear among those who hold bonds. So they've sold a lot of the MGS, Malaysian government securities, and this has put pressure on the ringgit. They're doing the same in Thailand. However, the dust is beginning to settle. And if you stand back and look at the big picture, meaning credit quality of Malaysia, high savings rates in most of the Asian countries, including China. So, meaning with these high savings rates, low budget deficits, and a much more fiscally prudent way of running things, these currencies are still well supported. The dust is settling. We're beginning to see some consolidation. And my forecast is that the ringgit and Sing dollar and Thai baht and Indonesian rupiah will begin to strengthen. The fundamentals will come back into play because the U.S. dollar took a huge hit last night, and there's a lot of issues in the U.S. And remember, the U.S. the growth is very low at 1.5% or less. Europe is the same. So where do you allocate your capital in a low growth situation or in a situation with much higher growth? And it all boils down to this: wealth is created by saving, by investing, and allocating in enterprises which will grow wealth, compound wealth. Whereas in the US and Europe, they feel that wealth is created by borrowing, by printing, by spending. And printing money doesn't create any wealth. In fact, it increases debt, and debt is the thing that slows down growth. So do not worry about the ringgit. Do not worry about that. I think we're probably reached a level where it's going to stay where it is and perhaps strengthen in the weeks and months ahead.
All right, thanks a lot. Okay, so that's explanation from is this weak currency good for Busa? That's another question. Or I'll try to answer you in our closing bell today at 4:15. So make sure you catch us that if you are the premium members. Okay. All right. Now, going on to our next program here is a calendar event. A lot of people do ask, how do I follow? What's really happening in Traders Truth Review. So we do have a calendar event. I highly suggest you all get a copy of it. It's been updated for the second half of 2013. You can click on here for the calendar event, which is available on our website here. All right, just click it here and you should be able to see the entirety of our workshops, our Friday chart clinic, as well as our so-called year-end update, which is next year. This is a calendar of event that we have. So download a copy. Stay tuned to the Traders Truth Review website so you get updated and how we actually manage our thing. And those of you who would like to open up an account with us, with Jupiter, you can also do that to be able to guide you through this thick and thin with our services to help you through. All right, so that's on that part. Now going back to the Friday chuckling. Now for the premium membership, very good news due to the demand that been getting. We are adding a penny and Warren corner to our closing bell stock pick. Yeah, because I'm a licensed broker, we can do that now. So due to the popularity of people at this market wanted to trade this highly risky speculative trading nature of the penny stocks and warrant, right? Because some of these stocks can go up by like something like a 1,000% in one